Ladies and gentlemen, I take this opportunity to address few issues that I feel it will be the right forum.
Yes. So we only implemented 1,000 of that. So that is about 30% of what the Act says. So that you can afford to be able to import goods into South Sudan. So while people complain that taxes have gone up at the borders, no. We have just implemented 1,000 of that. Supposed to be 4,600, 4,500. But we only took 1,000 SSP as a custom valuation rate, which is the rate you use to tax imports from outside. So that is one. Number two, only on the issue of fuel levies, we did not even use the Act in the first place. Because when you use the Act, the cost of diesel and petrol will go higher. That is why today, ladies and gentlemen, fuel and in Kenya and in Uganda, fuel in Uganda is expensive than the one we sell in South Sudan. Today, this morning. And fuel in Kenya is almost equating to the fuel that we sell here. Because we did not even implement the Act, because we realize fuel is a very essential commodity that actually cut across the sector of our trade. The same thing with issues of roadblocks. You know, for 3 months we have spent more than 1.2 billion SSP to fight the road. It's not an easy job. Our CDF is the chairperson of the committee to remove all the non-tariff barriers that are on the roads. And you might have seen on Ubli Road they have reduced. We have not eliminated them all because some of them stayed in the bush where there is no town, and when they hear the truck sound coming, they just jump to the road and put the rope. But still, it is still being fought because on a weekly basis we have 2 cars moving along the road to make sure that if they bump into them, they are arrested. You know. So those are things that are ongoing. What other people are feeling, there has been a lot of smuggling. And we have digitized up to about 80% of our taxes today. They are not collected again in the boxes. What has remained not digitized is where we don't have the banks. Some of the states don't have commercial banks. Some of the borders don't have commercial banks. But where there is a bank, payment is done according to the system. And sooner or later, we will be at 90% digitized or automated in our tax collection. So this is important to note that those who come to your companies to say that in Juba, especially in Juba, to say that please pay me money, those are thieves. Money is being paid in the bank, not to people, not to boxes, not to sanduk. Cash taxes are being paid directly to the banks in Juba. But in a place like Roadblock, in a place like Gomecha, in Yambio, at the borders, yes, we can excuse you for that because there are no commercial banks that are closer to the collection centers. Some of the states also, who doesn't have commercial banks. But all the states that have commercial banks, taxes are being paid directly to the banks through the system. The Undersecretary has talked on issues of single custom territory. While we have not signed, we are actually implementing it. Because for us to collect taxes in South Sudan, we need Uganda. We need Kenya. We need other countries to help us to be able to collect taxes. That is why we opened an office in Mombasa, so that you pay here before you leave Mombasa. I know many people are not comfortable with that. But when will you continue to smuggle goods to the region in the name of South Sudan? When I closed it in December, many of you went against my name in the social media. We was a promotion at some point. That you don't want your taxes to be, don't want your trucks to be close to Mombasa and you pay in Juba. You went around to say, Simon Akuei open an account in Kenya to collect taxes. No. We have 13 banks in Juba. You are supposed to pay here before your truck leave where? At Mombasa. We had 7,000 trucks at the port, containers. Your Honorable Minister, and you realize out of 7,000, 3,000 were not coming to the Republic of South Sudan. I went myself to negotiate with them. And they told me, we don't even know where your country is. So I told them, why are you declaring in South Sudan name? They say that is the only window we use to leave the port. So we find them $500 to pay to South Sudan, then they go declare to the countries where they were going. So the next time they don't do it. And today, we are receiving the rightful declared goods coming to the Republic of South Sudan. Not the one going to Congo, not the one going to Uganda. And this morning, number of cars were leaving Kaya with jerrycans of petrol going back to Uganda to save smuggling. And you know what? You know how God works? When I was driving from Gulu to Numili a few weeks back, in Noah, there was smuggling cigarettes super much, over 10 in front of us. Leaving Uganda, leaving Numili back to Uganda. And we had to stop to check the safety of the passengers. But to realize the whole Noah is full of super much tobacco. Being smuggled back to Uganda because the cost is better in Uganda than in South Sudan. So you as business community, you know some of you I caught, some of you red-handed. I can even see some faces here that I caught red-handed. You know yourself. Some of you talk to me, some of you forge invoices, and I know you in person. I have just forgiven you last time not to arrest you. Tax payment is an obligation of a citizen, of an investor. It is your right to pay taxes. But it is not your right to smuggle and complain. So when we put the law in place, you complain. No. Pay the taxes as required. There is no tax collector that is ever loved. But you have to love me because we have to help our country succeed. As I finish, Honorable Minister, there are some of the things that need to be put in place. There are some of the recommendations that will go to the Secretariat. We need to review our Taxation Act 2009. That needs to be reviewed. We need to review the Custom Act. And we need to come out with a new law. Tax Harmonization Act. A new law altogether. This law will have to define taxes that will be collected by the national government, and taxes that will be collected by the state government, and taxes that will be collected by the local government. That law is required because the Governors Forum gives themselves the responsibility to determine what they have to collect. Governors Forum is not a law. The states give themselves what to collect. My colleague from Central Equatorial, I challenge you. You are collecting business profit tax. You are not supposed to do that. You are not supposed to collect BPT because it is not your prerogative. You call your Commissioner of Taxes Commissioner General. I am a Commissioner General. There is another Commissioner in Central Equatoria. PIT. What PIT is a state supposed to collect, and which PIT is a state supposed not to collect. This is the challenges our private sector is having. All these collections, some of them are very illegal. Issues of mayor, management fees, those fees that have different, very awkward names. We don't need to collect those ones, because the same people that we collect from in Juba, Honorable Minister, are the same people the Central Equatorial Government collect from. And that is a double taxation on the private sector. So these are issues that need to be resolved. But let me also give you some comfort. The taxes that you have been collecting, our Minister of Finance is paying them for salaries. And yesterday evening, the task force that is meant to pay taxes, formed by the Vice President of Economic Cluster, paid salaries yesterday in the evening. That task force is led by Central Bank. Membership of Minister of Finance, membership of South Sudan Revenue Authority, and membership of Central Bank. They paid actually salaries yesterday. Issues of cash is a different issue altogether. It is not related to the money. But we want to make sure that all the money that you need as a ministry, as a state, let it stay in your account. Then you look for where to get cash from. So that is the comfort that I want to tell you, that you are contributing to the economy, because this person who goes to work every morning need to be paid at the end of 30 days, which you are doing as a private sector. I think we can clap for ourselves for that. As I say, Honorable Minister, we will continue to look for ways to improve our tax systems, and one of them is to digitize. Very soon we'll introduce the ETR machines in our hotels and in our apartments and restaurants to collect these little taxes that you pay every day. In Tanzania, there is a tax called RT11. That RT11 is paid by the hotels. Everybody that checking into the hotels pays $4.5 every day, so long as you stay in that hotel. And this is going to revenues of the government, because government must survive to deliver services without endangering the private sector or doing business, but also make sure that there is money to pay for government obligations. So when things increase a little bit by the act, I have the acts there. We are even the cars, because Seduzil, you hear a lot of noise about the car importers. Lwal is one of the people who import cars. It is 40%, according to that book, to 18.4%. But you know what we are doing? We are only charging 15%. Just to have a soft landing until the next act takes effect, the 2025-2026. So most of the things that you see, we have just increased a little bit. If we increase according to that book, some of you will not be able to import anything. The agony is that even the tobacco is reduced. I don't know why the tobacco was made less. And it's a dangerous good. Alcohol is also reduced to 50%. I don't know how many of you here take alcohol. These are the things that we should raise. And we reduce some of the essential goods. So I've taken a lot of time, my apologies, said Waziri, but let us work together to improve this sector. I encourage the private sector to raise more and more. All the associations, the Somalis, the Eritreans, Ethiopians, the South Sudanese that are here, you come to my office. We'll continue to discuss these issues. Our association of clearing agents are here. We are working together to see that things that are very expensive, we also reduce. Yesterday there were medicines stuck at Mombasa, and we are trying to find a way how we can bring them. Because if you put them according to what you say, it is becoming too expensive. If we leave it, we don't tax anything from it. So people need to be realistic. When the undersecretary talk about single custom territory, you know what it means? There is a data which is in Mombasa. That data is from WTO. And we all chip into that data to be able to get the right taxes that you import good with. So if you come with an invoice or you don't come with an invoice, it's not our business. There is a system which is already there. And we are all part of that system that is being used by the community, East African community. So you can declare, like last time somebody declared 10 containers for $10,000. We told him, no, wait. When we put into the systems, he was to pay over $500,000 for 10 containers. And that is why some of you are not comfortable, because of that system. It is not my system, it is a regional system. And he's aware, the Undersecretary is here. So I want to say thank you very much, Honorable Minister, for this forum. Thank you, ministers who have attended. We'll continue to engage. This forum needs to be more, so that we can address issues that affect our people, our business community, because what affects a business person automatically affects a citizen. Because he's there, he's a buyer. Thank you very much.